As a human, we typically only push ourselves to the point to where it feels uncomfortable. Rarely do we go beyond that unless someone challenges us to do so or we're inspired. That's it. You push to where it's painful and then you stop. But your potential is much greater. I'm not asking you to be perfect. I'm asking you to live to your potential. And if you're able to do that, imagine what's possible. Give value first. When I meet people randomly, it's not, oh gosh, this could be a potential customer. It's tell me about what you do and allow me to connect you with other people. That's the only way I've ever built my whole business, word of mouth marketing. I don't advertise, I spend nothing on marketing, zero. And I'm not suggesting that for yours because you got to educate people. But for me, it's word of mouth or repeat. I've talked to the same conference people year after year after year after year because I want to connect and give and serve. I don't sell anything. All I do every single day is want to give value and encouragement to other people. Same as LinkedIn. I don't worry about money. Money happens. And I know that's a difficult thing when you're building your business because it's like saying, don't think about food and you haven't eaten in a week. But I promise you, if you focus on the service of others and building relationships and connecting other people with other folks, that's when your life changes professionally. I'm a positive person, good attitude. I even brought a hairdryer with me. Okay? But I'm telling you, it's not going to change your life. You know what does? Mindset. And you got to choose one way or the other. You got to say, am I going to have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset? Am I going to make that choice when I leave here today? You invested. Some of you probably shouldn't even be here from the perspective of outlying more cash because you have it in your business. But you're doing it because you have to invest in yourself. You must go all in. Fast, flexible. Those are your two magic words. If you have an idea, go to market as fast as you possibly can and be flexible or pivot if you need to. Your willingness to be flexible, your willingness to take chances is the key because here's the secret. Ready? Imperfect actions are better than no action. I suffered with panic attacks my whole life. Okay, now we all have our own issues, blah, blah, blah. But I mean, to the point to where I couldn't even go to the movies. My high school prom, I was home at 7:30 because I was afraid I was going to pass out. I remember even as an adult, I've been doing this for almost 20 years. One of my first talks, it was like 1,000 people. And I literally, my heart, if you never had anxiety attacks, you won't know what I'm talking about. But like, I was like, this is it, I'm done. It's like Fred Sanford. I'm coming, Elizabeth. Like, I thought I was done. And I almost didn't walk out. And I said to myself, I said, you know what though? If I die here today, that'll be the most memorable experience for those people ever. Remember the time in Vegas that dude died while he was talking? And it kind of made me laugh because it's the ridiculousness. And I started saying, well, how many times have I died so far? 0. And instead of me continually avoiding that scarcity kind of mentality, I just face it and I do it anyway. But we got to change that emotional dialogue that's inside, that internal dialogue. Instead of saying, well, what if we run out of resources before we make this thing work? Don't raise your hand, but has anybody ever had that thought? What if we run out? Why don't we change it to, what's the best way to leverage our resources? Instead of, what if we don't do our target this month? What must I do to earn our target this month? Look, 1.33 GPA, I wasn't kidding. That was my graduating high school. And somebody said, what's a W in math? That's when they withdraw you from the class because you suck that bad. I got an A in piano, my teacher was hot. No, he still is. And so, you know, that's my life. But even if I go back to elementary school, they were saying, Brian, we're working hard to keep him quiet. Brian talks too much. Shut up, sit down, conform, do what we tell you to do. And I'm not anti-academic, I'm very pro-academic. But at the same time, I've made millions of dollars doing what they told me not to do. Every child that comes in that somebody sees as a behavioral problem could also uncover a talent. That's my opinion. Does anybody subscribe to that? So maybe part of our pitch isn't so much identifying what's wrong with your child, but uncovering what their potential is. Again, with my daughter, I had 2 major rules for my daughter since she was born. Okay, number 1, I wanted her to be a powerful, independent woman who doesn't need a man, doesn't need anyone else, that she can make it on her own. And there are some downfalls to that, and that's because her confidence is at a 9 sometimes when it shouldn't be. But she's not afraid of failing or trying. Rule number 2, my other goal, keep her off the pole. And if I could do those 2 things, I'm not offended, I mean, #fan, but I'm just saying not for her. And so what we're talking about here is interesting. Now, the Girl Scouts actually empowers this. And if you look at even what GIRL stands for Girl Scouts, it's an acronym. It stands for go-getter, innovator, risk-taker, leader. And that's powerful. See, we need to be all girls because that's what we really need to do. Is imagine if you were able to do something without the fear of failing. There are two kinds of fears, okay? And these are very, very real, and they're exactly the same in terms of the way our body reacts to them. One is authentic fear, the second is unauthentic. Authentic is a lion is grabbing you out of the car, okay? Tunnel vision, time slows down. If you've almost been in a traffic accident, you've slow motion. That's our body's way of dealing with high stress. Unauthentic fear will give the same biofeedback to you, but it's typically just based on BS, stories. My panic attacks, I'm gonna die, I know it, this is it. Here's the challenge, we think we know. Very important phrase, we think we know, but we really don't. Every decision you make is based off a narrative or a story that we've told. That's the unauthentic fear. And my daughter, who I've always wanted to be extremely competitive, she was at a swim tournament. She came home and she was, she didn't place. And I said, what do you think happened? Because I know what happened. She got lazy. She's like, I just wasn't really feeling it today. She goes, but you know what? Winning's not everything. Mom said that it's not even about winning anything. It's just about showing up and just trying. I was like, you know who says that, Alex? She goes, who, Daddy? I said, losers, all right? Your mom's a hippie. And so what you need to understand is that winning is everything. Now, if you hustle, you work hard, you do everything you can, and you don't succeed, I can respect that. But don't you dare just show up and do half. That's not good. We have enough of these trophies walking around. We don't need more. Not anyone in this planet is going to be as passionate about your business if they're an employee than you. But you can teach them to be passionate for the cause. That's it. Not about the center growing. They don't care about that any more than anybody cares about mission statements for companies. You don't wake up in the morning to strive for profitability for somebody else. So don't expect them to work at a 10 like you when they're paying like a job. But we can get them passionate about making a difference. That it's not just about someone calling in. It's really about changing the dynamic of future generations, if you believe that.